When Zainab was born, the cry of a newborn baby filled the mud house, but no one celebrated. The traditional birth attendant wiped her hands on a cloth and announced softly, "It's a girl." The room went quiet. Her mother, Sophie, turned her face to the wall. Tears dropped slightly into the pillow. Her father, Suleiman, stood without a word and walked outside. By the time he returns, the joy that should have greeted a new life was already buried and disappointed. This was their third daughter. No son. In the village of Jos, boys were blessings, girls were reminders of failure. They named her Zainab, but she was barely called by it. Instead, people refer her to as the last girl or another one. From the moment she could walk, Zainab learned her place. At 4, she carried plate to elders. At 6, she fetched water before sunrises. At 8, she learned to cook meals bigger than her body. Her brothers, son born from another wife, played freely, chased their dreams. Zainab and her sisters chased responsibilities. Yet, despite the hardship, Zainab had a light inside her. She loved learning. Zainab's first day of school felt like stepping into another world. Chalk dust floated in the air like magic. The teacher's voice sounded like responsibility. Letters became doors, numbers became power. She observed. Her teacher, Mrs. Adebayo, noticed immediately. "This girl is special," she told Suleiman during a parents' meeting. "She learned faster than many boys." Suleiman frowned. "What is the use?" he asked. "She will marry," but Mrs. Adebayo insisted. "Let her continue. Education does not ruin a girl, it saves her." Suleiman allowed Zainab to stay, only until primary 6. As Zainab grew, her body changed, and the villagers' eye changed with it. Whispers followed her footsteps. "She is ripe. She should not be wasted." A girl who learned so much becomes stubborn. At 14, her school uniform no longer fit her properly. Sophia noticed it and sighed. "They will soon come," her mother said quietly. Zainab knew who they were. Suitors, men old enough to be her father. One evening, she overheard a conversation that froze her blood. "There is a man from the city," Suleiman said. "He has money. He wants the girl." Sophie whispered, "She's still a child." "A child does not bring pride." "Prize," he replied. Zainab ran outside and cried under the tree until her chest inched. The wedding happened quickly. There was no question. Zainab was 18. Her husband, Hassan, was 38. On the day she was dressed in red clothes and heavy beads, women sang around her. They called her lucky. They called her blessed. Zainab felt like she was being handed over to darkness. That night changed her forever. Pain taught her what words cannot describe. Marriage was not kind. Hassan believed obedience was love. Silence was respect. Pain was normal. When Zainab burned food, she was beaten. When she asked questions, she was slapped. When she cried, she was mocked. At 16, she became pregnant. Her body was not ready. Her mind was not ready. But tradition did not care. She gave birth after 2 days of being in labor that almost killed her. The baby was a girl. Hassan's face hardened. "Useless," he spit. "You bring shame." Zainab held her daughter and felt something awaken inside her. A fire. She named her Aisha. As she watched the baby sleep, Zainab whispered, "Promise into tiny ears. You will go to school. You will choose your life. You will not cry the way I cried." But promise means nothing without freedom. And freedom was something Zainab did not have. Help came from an unexpected place. One afternoon, a group of women arrived in the village. They spoke about mental health, girl-child education, and domestic violence. Zainab listened from behind. When one woman said, "A girl has the right to say no," Zainab's knees shook. After the meeting, she approached the woman quietly. I want to learn, she whispered. I want to be free. The woman looked at her bruises, her youth, her baby. You are brave, she said, and bravely changed lives. That night, Zainab made a choice that would rewrite her destiny. She waited until Hassan traveled for business. Before morning, she tied Aisha to her back and left. Goodbye. No blessing. Only fear and hope walking side by side. The journey to the city was long and dangerous, but when she arrived at the shelter, Zainab collapsed into tears, not from pain, but relief. For the first time, she was safe. Life at shelter was not easy, but it was fair. Zainab returned to school at 16. Sitting among younger students was embarrassing at first, but hunger for knowledge erased shame. She studied freely. She walked nights. She healed slowly. Aisha grew, laughing freely, something Zainab never had. Years passed. Zainab earned scholarships. She completed her secondary school. She entered university to study education. She wanted to teach. She wanted to protect girls. 10 years later, Zainab returned to her village, not a bride, not a burden, but as Mrs. Zainab Hassan Abudu, an educator. She stood before her parents and spoke with calm authority. Girls are not mistakes, she said. They are future. Some men laughed, women cried, some girls watched with white eyes and quiet hope. Suleiman stood at the back, older and smaller than she remembered. When he approached her afterward, his voice shook. I was wrong, he said. Zainab nodded. I know. Zainab built a small school. She funded scholarships. She rescued girls from early marriage. And every night, she kissed her daughter and reminded her, you are enough. The girl child does not need pity. She needs opportunity. She does not need silence. She needs voice, because when a girl child is educated and protected and allowed to dream, she does not just survive, she changed the world.